Hello. Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein in the Road to 100, where today we are going to be in the Ridge of Frozen Souls. And what I would like to share with you guys today is that we are going to run a build with a very beginning blood code. And you'll notice here that we are not having any stat modifiers as part of our passives. So we're not changing the base build setup of what this code actually can do. What instead we are going to be doing is we are going to be using it in such a way that you weren't able to actually use it this way at the beginning of the game, but because we do get the Hedgehog Fort here in the Ridge of Frozen Souls, as you run around this way and run up here in this little cubby, you will find it here waiting for you in a chest, and it will be interesting to observe and see how this blood veil actually operates. We will be getting about 10 or 11 ichor on a parry or backstab, and that is with Avarice and a Devour. So pretty pathetic on ichor recovery here for this blood veil. However, you will notice that we do have a fairly decent dark value. Anything over 1,000 in the late games, new game pluses and such, is considered on the lower end of gifts and of dark values and light values. So this is kind of on the shorter lower end of what is possible to do here at late game. If you are below 1,000, it's pretty worthless here on the higher difficulties, especially at max difficulty. However, what we are going to be going for here is a little bit of range, a little bit of medium range, and a little bit of close range, as well as our Hound's Veil as well to recover health and ichor, while at the same time having the Rubelite Piercer. And the interesting thing about the Rubelite Piercer, right, is that it has innate blood damage, 10%, and it has now, with the Scothachrome on it, we have 50, which is 20% fire damage. So we are able to take care of enemies' blood and fire weaknesses here to give us a increase of 30% to our damage outright, and then with all the weaknesses along the way, we will be getting upwards of another 30% potentially against some of the enemies. So without further ado, let's carry on. And what we will have to be watching for here in the Ridge is hopefully we can have some enemy encounters where we do indeed have chances and opportunities to use our blood veil to recover ichor and recover health along the way. So it is a big opportunity here for us to get backstabs, charge attacks, and the like, because if we use our weapon, as you see, it is not as beneficial to us as using our blood veil, just because of the fact that we do not have a incredibly high amount of damage from our blood veil. And what are walls here in Vein? So we might as well get rid of one of the dogs while we can, and then this one we can just blow away very quickly. So that is a great way to take care of those dogs specifically. Now you will notice here that we are surrounded, so it is in our best interest to kind of keep these guys at a distance here. Ouch. Okay, we got hit. So it's in our best interest now to use our blood veil to recover health and everything along the way here. Oops. Okay, we got hit again. This guy is now excited here, so we will have to watch out for him. Okay, we are definitely getting our health back, so that is very nice. This guy, we want to start with a backstab, so we can kind of take him out of the equation here, so we can then, okay, get some health back, but apparently he's, oops, I was going to say apparently he is playing hard to get here. But, okay, first death of the area. Now, If we want to play a little more passive and a little more conservative, that is the full out version here of what this build is meant to be. It is all around the Blood Veil and gifts, and however, if you are playing a little bit more conservative, you will want to hang back and simply gift down your enemies at a distance, and instead of using your Blood Veil. So for example, we can go for a little bit of this, and then we can go for an attack there. And so that is how you can play a little bit more conservative. Okay. Alright, and here, oh, okay. And now we can just go for some drain attacks here and recover our health here, which will be very nice for the upcoming fellas. Okay, very nice. And so now, as you can see here, we can go for this fella, and we can engage him before he gets over here, and we can take him out. And now we have just the gunner here, which we can get him excited about coming over here, and he will now figure out the idea of coming over here because he won't be able to shoot at us. So he should be able to run over here. Maybe he won't. That's fine. This guy is good enough here. Okay. Apparently I was not good enough on the parry timing there. So let's go for some attacks here, so we can get a little bit of our health back. Okay. Same thing with this guy. Let's go ahead. Oh, let's go ahead and take advantage of our abilities here to use our Blood Veil, and definitely go for the charge drain to get the potential of more health drain than you normally would. And let's go for all the gifts, so that way here we can go for everything we need to. Okay. And then we'll just poke this guy. Now, right over here is where you find the Hedgehog Forts, in this chest right here. So that is where you pick that up, and you too can have some pretty good times here using the Hedgehog Forts for your excitement here in the Ridge of Frozen Souls. Okay, very good. Okay, can't see this guy. I think we're about to fall off the edge. So let's back up here, and let's just force him to figure out what he's doing here. Now, it is unfortunate that he does parry Hound's Veils when you do the charge attacks. That is most unfortunate, because that would be super duper helpful for us if he did not. However, that is a problem. Okay, let's just head over here to the missile, force this guy to come over here. That is fine, and then we will go after the gunners here first and foremost, just to make sure that these fellas don't attack us in any appreciable manner here. Now, the Ridge of Frozen Souls is not necessarily one of those areas that you typically like spec out significantly for, just because of the fact of how just because of how this entire area operates, because of how most of the enemies you can kind of we are standing on a thing, so we can't attack this guy with our veil. So when those kinds of scenarios happen, it is just the game playing to its odd mechanics in that regard. So unfortunate there, but at least we have the missile here to bring us back, no problem. But the mechanic of the area is kind of built in such a way that you want to take on each enemy one at a time. and there is really, really good synergy built into these different areas to make sure that you actually can do that. And there's not a lot of actual problem. Whoops, with most of the enemies in the different areas. However, those gunners and that sword dude, those are some pretty tough scripted areas where if you stop to fight one of the enemies and do something different, then continuing on, the game will make you sorry that you actually stopped to engage with those enemies. So kind of interesting there how those actually operate that way. Okay, so now for the Boreal Brute. This is simply a test of you know, understanding how his attack set is going to go. Whoops. Okay, we'll just launch this guy. We'll get him up in the air a couple times here, and oops. Okay, never mind. I was gonna go for another launch attack, but no problem there. And he, I believe, just killed himself. That's okay. Nothing we can do about it now. So if we are adept enough to actually get the parries, that is the best way to go about disturbing this fella from his nest here. But the most available way to get rid of this guy is from the ledge down below. So that way you kill him before he actually engages with you. So that is the most enjoyable way to get rid of him. And a lot of times it is to make him just jump off the edge. Whoops, during his dance attack where he spins around in circles. This is the difficult way to go about engaging with this fella. The simple, easy, basic way is to run over this way. And these guys will shoot at us, obviously. And that guy will hopefully ignore us for the time being. Okay, and then we got these two fellas. Okay, this guy is here. He did not give up on us. Somehow that guy did not off the edge. Okay. Okay, we might die here. Yep, the sword caught us on the backswing there. Okay, but if we run over this way, we can encourage the Boreal Brute to jump off the edge and kill himself. So either way you go, it does get a little bit difficult, but that way is simpler when you are first running up, not running back from this missile. But the Boreal Brute is one of those enemies that is definitely a problem when you first meet him. However, if we do get enough chance here to get our gifts going all at the same time and get enough ichor along the way here, we should be fine. Whoops. And that's where most of the time he... Whoops. Okay. He's... Okay. Apparently stun locks are his specialty here. Now, if you do have above 240 ice armor, you can defend against this fella completely. The threshold is around the 220 mark, so he is a great option for you to learn where your thresholds are for ice armor and such. So that is a very, very nice thing that you can do, is figure out where those thresholds are before engaging with him. Okay, let's go for a little bit of this, and that will force him into some different activities here. And as you can see, instead of running into the fight with no gifts available, obviously we can then shred him apart very, very quickly, very, very easily. So that is where a lot of times you will want to change up your tactics when you are running into a fight with some of these different enemies. The amazing part about pretty much everything in Vayne is that most of the time when you think hard enough about something, the answer is like staring you in the face the whole time. As you saw there, we kept entering the fight with no Ichor, and as soon as we enter the fight with Ichor, he's erased pretty much immediately. So very interesting there how the entire setup here operates, is that if we have the Ichor available, then we are able and capable to actually run down an enemy very, very quickly, very, very easily. However, if we don't, we are pretty much incapable of actually doing any real sustained continuous damage to an enemy, just because of the fact that we are not having a serious weapon. We are having the Rubelite Piercer, which is not known for how strong of a weapon it typically is. Okay, and that guy just flew off the edge there. Now this fella, if you want to engage with him, you can run over this way. He'll throw a couple of icicles. Just make sure that you ignore his throwing icicles, and then after a while he will walk over here. And if he is close enough, then he will either jump or he will roll across. The jump, as you saw there, was the preferred version, where he simply walks off the edge and kills himself. That is the best version you can get. The other one is where he will do his spin attack when he zooms across the gap, so you will have to dodge that one specifically. However, for the rest of it, you should be fine. Okay. This guy, we just can't see what's going on because he is in a very, very tight ledge area here. So remember that the name of the game for our build is our Bloodveil, which is kind of a strange place to be altogether. However, it is a it is a pretty decent damage Bloodveil, as well as having pretty good Ichor recovery, with also having very, very good health recovery, based on the fact of the having the 2.25 times multiplier added to your Ichor recovery. So if we did not have those active, Avarice and the Devour Chrome, it would be exceptionally difficult, to be able to recover any kind of Ichor. And as you can see there, 5,000 damage is pretty decent for our gifts, all things considered. We don't have really any kind of Ichor recovery in our weapon. It is all built up into our Bloodveil here, and as you can see, even getting a charge drain gets us about 9 Ichor, which is pretty decent overall. Okay, and remember that the blades of Dancing Fireblade are proportional to the proximity to the enemy to the damage that you are putting out. So you want to, every time that you engage with an enemy, you want to be standing as close as physically possible to the enemy. And let me show you here. So you can see how the blade has a wide part here at the base and a very thin part here at the tip. So here at the tip, you want to keep the enemies until about here, where it changes shape, and then about here is the next transition down. And so there are 3 regions of damage values that you can retrieve out of Dancing Fireblade, and you want to keep enemies as close as physically possible within this first leg before you get into the outer regions, because as you continue this, the more extreme parts away from whoops, from your body is where your damage significantly drops off. So you want to make sure that you are engaging the enemies as close as possible. And as you see here, if we stand right on top of this guy, the damage numbers will stack up very, very quickly. And if we stand kind of at the very, very end tips of the damage values, then this guy will have very, very, very good survivability from using Dancing Fireblade. So let's see here if we can get him. So you can see as he got closer and as he was farther away at the beginning, you could hear the ticks going. And the problem with that, right, was that he was only getting like 400 damage a tick, and that is pretty pathetic, all things considered. Okay, let's get a little bit of health back here. So that is how you want to be using Dancing Fireblade, especially when you have enemies like the dogs that can stand close to you at all times. Okay. Trying to get drain kills on these guys is not exactly the most amazing attempt ever. So let's go ahead and fight another Boreal Brute. So let's go ahead and get our items going here as much as possible before the fight begins. Okay. Oh, he's sneaky. He is sneaky. We can launch him a few times here, no problem. Okay. And remember, if we do have Ichor, we are pretty much a force to be reckoned with here. Okay, and we got him just as he got his ice armor. So we'll see what he has here. Oh boy, there he goes. Interesting. Okay, so you can see now that we don't have any Ichor. So now, yep, okay, we did glitch him. So there is the glitch. If you get him at the frame perfect time of when he gets his ice armor, you can actually achieve the effect that he has his ice armor on. However, the game will not show you that he has his ice armor on, and then you have to kill him as if he didn't have his ice armor. Kind of interesting. And he will take full damage and everything. He won't take the negated 120% ice reduction and so on and so forth. So keep that in mind if you are going for that fun little glitch there that he can show you. Okay, so all in all, pretty average build, pretty average blood code. It's on the lower end of blood codes in the game, and for being here at max difficulty, it's not completely inept in every single way. It does have obviously some problems, as you can tell, but it is fairly decent for the amount of damage that we are expecting it to do, which is kind of nice. And it does have pretty good Ichor recovery on drain attacks, which is kind of what you want when you are trying to go for something like this, to make sure that you have everything possible during each and every fight. So now we do need quite a bit of Ichor recovery here as we get into the Nicola fight, and our weapon is pretty much useless here versus Nicola. That is not where our strong suit is going to be. Our strong suit is going to be in our blood veil here. Okay, and as you see, almost one hit will kill us. However, we do have some pretty decent iCore recovery, especially with the 3 1/8 times multiplier with having the drain rating running for our blood veil, because having access to some pretty high iCore numbers is very, very helpful, especially when Nicholas starts jumping around, and then when he is close to you and you can go for Dancing Fireblade and such. So now we will have a super advantage over Nicola in that we will have more time to get iCore as he is standing up. So here again, you can see that we are able to seriously get a huge amount of iCore here before the fight begins, which is kind of cheating almost. Okay. Okay. And you can see how much more effective we are because of how we were engaging with the beginning of the fight here. So let's get some iCore. Okay, not a problem because we can get all of our health back right like that, no problem. Okay. Whoa. There's the right hook to the face. That does have a slight, like an AoE block around the end of his fist. It is not a very clean hitbox at all. If we go back and rewind that and you look at where I was as compared to where the fist actually hit me, you will notice that I was clear out of the way. However, it's still, because of the distance to my character model, it counts as a hit. So a lot of interesting little nuances here with Nicola, considering how big his character model is. It reinforces the fact that you don't want to be near him in any kind of form here. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, good. So you can see the numbers just climbing away there during those encounters. Very, very amazing how fast those attacks build up the iCore here and such. Okay. Let's get one more charge drain in. Oh, okay. Oh boy. Okay, so now this is where the distance attacks come in super handy here. That we are able to run away while at the same time be able to use some serious some iCore recovery at a distance, or sorry, some damage at a distance, and have some serious iCore recovery in our blood veil. So this is a little bit different way to play Nicola. However, I think it does make for a more engaging fight rather than using your weapon. Because if you use your weapon, it's kind of a very basic rhythm game, and there's no real tension. It's like 1-2 back up, 1-2 back up, 1-2 back up, 1-2 back up, and that's not exactly blood pumping or thrilling. However, being on a razor's edge every time Nicholas shows his face, that is pretty intense here, all things considered. Okay, let's go for this. Whoops. Okay, he definitely wants to... I can't see where we are. Nice. Now he will change up his attacks here as we change up how he's engaging here. If we change up our distances to him. Okay, very good. Great, we can get a lot of ichor now. Whoops. Okay. Should be able to get a... Whoops, yep, there's that attack again. Yeah, the right hook is very, very dangerous to be going around his right side to our left. However, if you get the dodge correctly, you can actually make it around that attack. However, it is basically a one-hit here at this point. However, if you don't know this, Nicola does 100% ice damage. So if you have enough ice resistance, he cannot do any damage to you at all. And that is the simple, easy, basic way to get through the Nicola fight, is to simply go for 100% ice resistance and not actually fight him at all. So if you are looking for the simple way, that is how you would do that. Okay. Alright, he is proving to be a little bit unpredictable here. There we go. Okay, where is he? Whoops, I just used 2 of those. And I couldn't tell where he was at all. Alright. He's definitely proving his damage here. Whoops, wrong dodge. I thought I had quick dodge. I didn't realize that hasten ran out. Oh well. So Nicola is one of those fights that if you play it anything different than kind of some of the more basic, simple damage manners, then he can be kind of tough because of his levels of damage that he can put out, as he can do tons and tons and tons and tons of damage very, 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 very quickly. However, if we switch, do I have an ice version? I don't have an ice version. So let's go get an ice version and let me show you the obviously just the damage difference that this can do. We don't have any haze, but that's fine. We can get all kinds of haze pretty quickly. So we have enough things lying around that we need to sell anyways. And let me show you the difference of damage values that Nicola will do or can do, even with a blood veil that is having 632 roughly light value. So let's sell items.
Sell something?
Yeah, I do. I want to sell I don't want to sell Eva's flowers. Let's sell oh, I don't know. Let's sell, I guess this is 260,000. So let's sell these. Okay. And let's go transform. Blood
Which
veil.
blood veil do you want to transform?
Andy loves that. Let's see, hedgehog fort, ice. Okay, and let's go ahead and upgrade that to
I've got you covered.
max
Which
level
blood
here.
veil do you want to use?
So 570.
If you
So
find any
our light value is going to drop even more. So 570, and you can see our drain rating is dropping off significantly. And so if we go for something like this guy or something, just to give us some better value there, then it's not exactly helping us in the long run. So if we go for this, and now our ice is at 79, this will take us up 45 to 84 and 124. And then if we won't be dodging as much, so we can go for elemental wall, and we will get about 25 or so out of elemental wall. So we'll be at about 150 or so, and if we use a tonic, we'll be over 160. And that's the interesting part about having max level, is that most of everything allows you the luxury and benefit of pretty much being invincible during any of these later stages of the game. And as you can see there, 186 and so 166, so I was pretty close. So let's see, this brings us up 45, so we're at 124, and then this guy brings us up to 166. And if we use this, do we go up one or two more? No. Okay, so then 186, so we don't even need the onyx here, but that's completely fine. So we're over 160 now. So we don't have the extra damage because now we have ice damage on our blood veil, and so that is super bad for us. However, we come equipped with the fact of we can simply just change, like I said before, we can just change up our build here a little bit and be completely fine. However, the problem is now we don't have incredible amounts of ichor recovery. As you see there, it's not bad, but it's not good. And as you can see, completely invincible. So yeah, this is kind of the very sad way to go about engaging Nicola, is that you just go for ice armor, and it doesn't matter if you are going to defend against his shield or whatever. He does 100% ice damage no matter what attack he's doing, and so it's in your best interest to just just run in and just attack like crazy, and make sure you're getting enough ichor so you can have ice armor and elemental wall active at any time. And you don't really need the ice tonic. However, it will give you just that little bit more in the event that 186 is not enough for the ice projectiles. So but as you can see there, we are kind of pumped to the brim for what we have with the Nicola fight there. That there are ways to completely negate out his attacks and everything, and so it's kind of interesting that you don't have to play with a lot of skill at that point, and that's why I always say that skill is optional in Vayne. You don't ever have to actually be really good or a pro at anything. You just need to be able to think about it and develop a good enough strategy that will allow you to get through each and every area. Now the problem here is that we need ichor for each of these encounters with him, and that is where the problem comes, is that we just need lots and lots of ichor, and that is pretty difficult to come by sometimes. Okay, good. We'll get a little bit of health here and a little bit of ichor. Okay. Now we are going to run out here of our abilities before phase 2, which is not great, if we even get to phase 2. So the charge drain is obviously the way that we do gain ichor. There is no point in having our rifle here along for the ride. It does not do an incredible amount of damage. It does do some pretty good damage though. However, it's just you only want to use the first attack of of the piercer here, because the first attack does pierce damage, which he is weak to, and it does fire damage because we have fire on it, which he's weak to, and it also does blood damage, which he is neutral to. So very, very good to be able to use those here during the fight. So let's go for 2 drains. Okay. Ouch. Okay, Nicola, you... I can't dodge up against the wall. Oh, too slow. Nope. Ouch. That right hook, I tell you what, trying to get charge drains in phase 2, that can be a super challenge all in and of itself, because you do need the charge booster active at in conjunction with time crunch in order to make sure that you are shrinking down those windows of when you can go for actual charge drains, because those are the one and only way that you will be getting big amounts of ichor. Otherwise it will all be about you know, going for millions and millions and millions of tiny tickles with your bayonet, which is not really super possible at any point in time. Oops. Oh, come on, Nicola. Good. Okay. Go for as much ichor here as possible. Mm-hmm. Nope, there's the right hook again. I wasn't watching for it that time, actually. Oh man. Okay. So if you do get stuck on Nicola in this sort of a way here with this B plus and everything, what you can do is, if you want, you can go for some of these different lighter weapons here and such. Now every time we use cognitive zeal, we will be able to use this, and you will want to go for faster, quicker, staggering shots. We need a dex of B, so let's go for a dex and willpower, and we'll go for this. Good. Let's see. We will need some kind of ichor here. Sure, we'll go for a Vow of Ichor. We won't need this. And we won't be doing our charge drains, unfortunately. So we can go for that. We'll go for those two, this. And we won't have any real ichor recovery here of any kind, pretty much at all. And so what we can do is we can go for our blood blends, and here we can go for some blood sacrifice. Okay, and here we will go for this and this. Okay, that's a pretty good alternative setup here. Now, the interesting part about this is we are completely ignoring everything we did at the beginning of the level, pretty much, in favor of what we are going for now. And you will notice a significant damage increase that we will have here along the way. Oh, I still don't have the dex appropriate for this, correct? Yeah, I need a B index, so we'll go for Somatic Zeal. Okay. And we have our Blood Veil active at all times, so that is very good. Okay. Okay, so we go for the Blood Blends just to raise our cap exceptionally high. Okay, and we'll keep it there. Okay, now you will notice that Nicola staggers quite a bit extra off of these. Whoops, and we die because I was standing still. But you will notice that he will stagger a lot more off of a build something like this because of the fact that he is pretty susceptible to staggers off of balance-based damage. Now, the very simple way to do Nicola is not really gifts at a distance, because he does have a lot of ways to close gaps amongst, you know, other things. But the way to kill Nicola quickly is status effects, stun and poison specifically. You can completely annihilate him very fast with status effects, and I'll show you that build here at the end just to kind of see how all of this kind of operates here. Amongst other things. So, as you can see, like, we do have some pretty favorable damage here. However, we are constantly using blood sacrifice to make sure that we have enough I-core and enough damage along the way, and it's not significant enough to actually you know, get us what we need when we need it. But ouch, there's the right hook and that one. Okay, so you can see how all these different builds that are focused around the Blood Veil and gifts, those are kind of misnomers, and here at the same time that we're using caster, it does fairly well. However, there is one far superior setup that you can have against Nicola, and that does come in the form of the Impulse Anchor, which is kind of odd that you might not think of the Impulse Anchor being something that you know, is going to be one of your great amazing killers of Nicola, just because of the fact of how, you know, most things operate here in Vayne. You don't think of them as necessarily, you know, big time smashers. So here what we are going to do is we're going to go this, and we're going to put Final Journey here. Let's see. And we will go for, where is it, poison and a stun. And here we don't really need to go for this. We need to go for debuff buildup. And here we will go for opportunism. Okay, these, and then charge. Okay, so this kind of a setup here with the Impulse Anchor and charge attacks on the Impulse Anchor, absolutely crazy how this actually goes about engaging with Nicola. to make sure that you actually dominate him in every single sort of way, and there's really nothing he can do about it because you have so much time during his stun phase that you can reapply buffs however you wish, and you're going to be getting enough ichor back that it's all acceptable however you go about your engagements here. So very, very interesting here how stun and status effects and such can be so very, 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 very good against Nicola. We don't even need the 90 seconds here. So we'll make sure that we get everything going and enough so that way we can get in there and get time crunch going, because that is the big factor here for us. Okay, and stun, and we have 9 seconds on these. Okay. Okay, let's apply another stun buff here. Okay, so as soon as he comes out of his attack phase there, yep. And that is the simplest, easiest way to destroy Nicola, is with status effects, just because of the fact that he can't do anything against them. He can't do anything during those phases where he's stunned, because stun buildup is so effective against him. When you couple it with poison, you get the increase of opportunism all the time, basically, during the fight, because the poison lasts for 30 seconds, and because the fight is so quick, you get debuff buildup, and you get the bonus of opportunism, which is higher damage value than hammer mastery or swift destruction. So you don't need to worry about losing out on the increase in damage from going against Nicola. So this is the as strange as it is, the impulse anchor hits 3 times every time that the charge attack comes down, and every single one of those 3 attacks, they all apply the same levels of stun and venom that you have active. So if we do this and this and this and another, come on, and a stun value, there we go. So we're at 75 and 81 on venom and stun because of the cartridges that we have. So it's very, very important to apply those, especially during each of the charge attacks, to make sure that when the impulse anchor comes down, it actually applies all 3 of those stuns and poisons all at the same time. So anyways, a lot of different, a lot of information here in this run, and we did see some struggle here with caster, which is why you typically don't ever use caster, and why you typically don't ever use the hedgehog forts, especially here in the Ridge of Frozen Souls and such. But it is a pretty interesting blood veil, and it does look very, very cool, and it's one of the more interesting special looking blood veils out of all of them, because of how it has the spikes all over. It kind of looks like Gregorio Silva's blood veil a little bit. But anyways, this has been a long one. If you've stuck it out to the end, you guys are heroes in my book, and thanks for watching. So good of you guys to drop by, and thank you so much for all your support as we've continued to make our way through the road to 100. And that'll be me signing off. Thank you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.